Okay, so back to the lightning shares. I mean, you got something you want to pitch? You got a captive audience here. They're not going anywhere. At least if they start leaving after you start talking, that's sort of an indication right there.
My name is Brendan McAdams. I'm actively developing a mobile application for healthcare, specifically to health plans. It's a consumer-directed application, and I'm looking for a mobile app developer, especially someone who knows HTML5 to support both Android and iPhone. So if anybody knows of somebody who want to approach me after the meeting, I'd love to talk to them. Thank you.
Great. Hey, Tom.
Thank you. I'm Tom Hohen. I was presented here a few months ago with GiveCore. We just surpassed $180,000 raised for local nonprofit organizations. And so if you are considering making a donation to a Baltimore-based nonprofit, please check out our pages and make a donation through us as we help them with organizing their tax receipts, and you help a local organization grow.
Good.
Good morning. My name is Larry Gray. I'm the co-founder of a new social network for grad students. It's currently a Hopkins-only network, and it's called Busy Grad. We currently surpass 1,400 users at the campus, and we're looking to expand to other Maryland universities, and we're currently out seeking funding.
Great. I think I know another social network that started just that way.
My name's Jason King. I'm president at Excella. We do custom software development on the web and mobile. So we mostly concentrate on open source development on the web side, and then anything on the mobile side from iOS to Android and HTML5. So if you guys need any developers, let us know. We're also looking for talent too, so if anybody's looking for a job,
great. Good stuff. All right. Okay. I guess got your coffee. Still have some extra seats here. Anybody wants those? No? All right. You're on.
I'm Brian Sierakowski. I'm the product manager for a company called LocalUp. We do online food ordering sites. And we recently, within about the past 2 months or so, just relaunched EatBmore, which is our site here in Baltimore. So I wanted to share some tips and tricks that we've learned from relaunching this site in a short period of time. We went from a site that looked like this to a site that looks like this. Wow. I have an applause break built into my slides here, but I guess it's still a little bit. Yeah, whoa. These guys are good. So this is just a little disclaimer here. This is good advice for if you're relaunching an old product, or if you're going from your minimum viable product to your real product. It's not really great advice from going from your idea to your MVP, because you should spend more time focusing on the product market fit and not so much time just getting to your product as quickly as possible. So lesson 1 was stuff done is greater than stuff talked about, and stuff done is probably greater than, or stuff done incorrectly is probably greater than stuff talked about. The reason for this is that talking is easy and very satisfying, and doing stuff is hard because you're responsible for something if it goes wrong, and making decisions with incomplete knowledge is, that's cool. Doing stuff and having incomplete knowledge is very harrowing, but the issue is that until you start doing stuff, you're not going to get any closer to the finished product. So the idea is to get uncomfortable, do things incorrectly, and eventually you'll get to the correct end product that you wanted. As a heuristic, if you look like this at any point in time during your day, you're probably not getting anything done. Next one, keeping your ego in check. This was a really difficult one for us because when we started to redesign the site, we had in mind, like, we want to make something really cool. And like, we want to create this thing that we can show our friends, and we can post on the Baltimore Tech Facebook group, and everybody's going to go, oh, these guys are awesome. And in reality, comparing that to the short time frame that we had to put that aside. And it wasn't about like the cool things and bringing attention to ourselves, but focusing on the utility for the user. So to reiterate, we went from that to that. It wasn't a dramatic visual shift, but we had to look at the things that were good, make them better, and then gracefully pull out anything that wasn't working and replace it with stuff that did. So on this more technical side, frameworks are good and you should use them. And the real, I don't know that anybody really necessarily talks about it, but the real idea here is that what you want to do is free up your time and attention to focus on solving the problem that you're trying to solve rather than dealing with a bunch of technology. So we used an MVC framework for our tech, but we also used a framework called Bootstrap for our front-end development. And I'll elaborate on how great that is. This is an example of some of their documentation on their site. So you get some styles for free, but you also get built-in documentation. So if anybody on our team wanted to make a button that looks like every other button that looks on our site, they just use BTN. And you can customize this as much as you want, but it gave us a framework to build off of. You could just use this and launch with that, or you can, all these sites here are built with Bootstrap. So as much time as you have, you can make it look as custom as you want, but you get that documentation and that framework for free. The next slide is a little bit of a joke. Have a product manager, because get it, I'm a product manager, so I'm saying have a product manager. But there is a level of value to having somebody that, even if it's not a dedicated product manager, having somebody whose job it is to take the development team and design team and the business interests, getting that into one stream of consciousness so it makes sense within itself, and also to make sure that the people that are doing stuff continue to do stuff. So the developers can focus on writing code, the designers can make designs and do UX work, and the business people can get up in people's business. And this is me with an Akbar head. I didn't know where to put that, so let's put that there. And the last one, this is sort of the most common advice and the most commonly ignored advice. Feature creep is the term that's used, but I think what really happens, and the scary thing is when it represents a change in features representing a change in your goals. If at all possible, the thing to do is that when you start on a project or when you start to relaunch, is to get together with the team and to agree upon what it is that you're trying to do, and then hold to that goal. And do not allow anything to rend you from that goal short of life-threatening peril. Because if you don't stick to that goal, then you end up like that guy, and that's not what you want to do. And this is really the reason why this is so difficult is that halfway through the project, you have a better idea of what the solution is than when you started. So it seems logical that, oh, well, I'm halfway through now, and I have such a better understanding. We should just change the idea of what we were doing to suit that. You have to be flexible, and it's unrealistic that the exact solution you had in mind when you started is what you're going to have when you end. But if you keep shifting your goal at 50%, you're never going to get to 100% because you keep kind of going off on tangents. So yeah, we don't want to get in trouble. We want to launch our thing on time. So quick recap, stuff done is greater than stuff talked about. Keep your ego in check. Frameworks are good. Use them. Have a product manager and avoid feature creep. I'd be happy to answer any questions. And applause would be good too. I wouldn't mind applause. Boom. Don't even
so good about feature creep, he was like right on time.
No time
Down
creep.
to the second.
No time creep, bro.
Hey, Brian, so the redesign looks nice. What were the goals?
So
and then what were the results?
Sure. Yeah. Great. Thank you. The goals were we had a really outdated tech stack. So the first thing we need to do is to get our company out from under the thumb of our technology. You know, we spent more time chasing and fixing bugs and plugging holes because of the old tech stack. So we need to get on a more, basically take our existing experience and get it into something contemporary that was manageable. We can release features in a reasonable amount of time, fix bugs quickly, do continuous deployment, and things like that. So in the process, we constantly had to make decisions. That was the goal, was just to take what we have and get into something contemporary. But we had to remake everything. So given the choice, is it going to take longer to remake this better, or is it going to take longer to remake it exactly the way it is? Those were the decisions we had to make. So I think that I'd like to think that we made good decisions, and we remade some things to make them better, And then the stuff that would have taken too much time, we kept the way it was with the understanding that we're going to come back and revisit that in the future. So conversions are up. We don't have any people leaving throughout the checkout process anymore. We've had close to 100% conversion rate from the beginning of checkout to the end. So pretty psyched about that. So we'll see. Limited data over the summer. So as we get to the fall time, we'll have a lot more data to share.
What was the old tech and what's the new tech?
So the old tech, we're still in a Microsoft world. The old tech was this web forms thing. It's like Visual Basic for the internet, which it's not really for the internet. And so now we're on the .NET MVC framework. So it just works the way any other MVC framework would work.
Great.
Yep.
Yes. Let's see, Tom. I'm going to throw this mic. Now I'm not. This pole's in the way. You know what's going to happen if I do that.
Oh boy.
No, we're recording, so.
Here we go. Ron's throwing stuff.
On your decision to use Bootstrap, how much of that was driven by its mobile flexibility, and how much of it was because it comes with all of these nice looks?
It wasn't. We didn't make the decision. Mobile was one of the things that we made the decision on early that we weren't going to optimize for initially, because now we're doing an iteration, but we're specifically focusing on mobile. So for us, it was more about the flexibility it gave us with our junior developers and designers, that they didn't need senior UX focus. If they wanted to make an interface for a part of the app, they could just go look up what the components were, and we could style it or work with them to style it. So for us, it was more about the speed, getting stuff for free, being able to customize that stuff, and then we might actually not use Bootstrap for mobile. We're going to do a dedicated mobile site. So, but we may bring it over too.
Good question.
Anything else?
Anything else? Well, if you remember these guys, they actually did one of our earlier Baltimore Tech breakfasts back in, when we were at the Towson Global Incubator space, which must have been like almost a year ago. I think about a year ago.
5 million years ago?
Yeah, exactly. 5 million years ago. So the dinosaurs were roaming the planet, and back then the technology was Visual Basic. No, I'm joking. But these guys have really evolved, because we saw you guys back then, and it was really quite an interesting model. So really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Good job. All right, Shay is up.
So my name is Shay Frederick. I work here at AdCom. I'm a programmer here. And as soon as this slide comes up.
Okay, Shay, you up.
It's alive. All right, I'm Shay. I work with AOL, or AdCom here. And in my spare time, I like to work with open data. So who's familiar with the term open data as it relates to like cities and states? Okay, just a handful. So open data is, it's data that the cities and states publish that has to do with their processes, what they take care of, what a city works on. So that entails a lot of different stuff. Baltimore City, about a year ago now, started up this open data portal where they post all their data to. If you go to that, data.baltimorecity.gov, it's a nice little interface where you can kind of peruse the data. And so there's a lot of stuff up there. So I was going to go over a couple of the things that they added more recently and the things that are kind of interesting. And my hope is that maybe you guys will find some of this stuff interesting too, and maybe get some ideas from that and help me figure out what additional data the city could start providing for us. So one of the things they released recently is bike lane data. So what is this? This is anything to do with bike lanes and how the city manages it. So if they paint a bike logo on the street, or if they put up a bike lane sign, all that data is contained in this data set. So what does that look like? So this is what the city provides as far as bike lane data. You can see what street it's on, what type of a installation is. Is this a sign? Is it something painted on the road? And through the city data portal, you can run queries on this data to pick out just the stuff that you want to work with. Say you want to find any kind of bike installation stuff on Guilford Avenue. So you can do a search on that and get back a bunch of data. So this is everything on Guilford Avenue. If you're a programmer, this looks like the Matrix. It's like blonde, brunette, redhead kind of thing, right? But if you're not a programmer, I'm sorry if this looks funny, but this is really useful to us. So I could take this and I could do anything with this, really. I could make websites that do whatever. I could make iPhone apps that really, you can go anywhere because it's just raw data. So I picked one of these points out at random. You see they've got, there's obviously a street address there. There's some more information about what it is. It's a bike boulevard. So I picked one of these at random, 1300 Guilford, and just brought it up on Street View, and there's the data point that I found. It's this painted symbol on the road. Bike Boulevard. There we go. So 1300 block of Guilford Avenue is a Sharrow. And on Street View, there's the 1300 block, there's the Sharrow. I don't know why they call it that.
It's shared and it's got an arrow?
It's a shared arrow.
I don't know. It's kind of narrow.
Brilliant.
I don't know.
All right. So that was some cool data, right? There's lots more of this stuff. Everybody's familiar with Baltimore's blue light cameras, right? That's how you know you're in a good location.
Party district.
So, yeah, so the blue disco lights, right? So they have a whole list of all these cameras that are in the city. This is all available through the open data portal as well. Location, the district, and what project installed those cameras. So I've got that here too. There we go. CCTV locations. Quite a lot of cameras. And a slow network, but. So you can run queries on their database like location-based. So if I put in a latitude, longitude, as you can see here, and I say I want 100 meters around that location, it gives me back a list of all the cameras in that location. Looks like 2 or so there. A little tough to tell in this format, but you can imagine if we were to integrate this into like an iPhone app or website, you could bring up pictures of this stuff. And you could do that on Google Maps too. So if I punch in that same latitude and longitude, I get my lovely blue light camera. I'm sure somebody's going to build an app on this sooner or later. I mean, blue light cameras, that's like the hot Baltimore thing. Another cool data set they just put in is the public art inventory. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's art all around the city. You get some really good information on it. The artist, the title of the piece, and a description, where it's at, what it's made from. So. I had one I was looking at here. I was looking at this one, this Anton Lewis piece. So it tells you like what year it was installed, what it's made out of, where it's located roughly, and then a little more detail on where it's located, because these things aren't always at exact addresses. So here's another example of querying on their art database. This is, I did a query for everything that was built in 1885. And got a good list of stuff here, maybe half a dozen pieces of art around the city in 1885. Along with this data, they provide photos of the art pieces. So you can imagine you build out the whole app just off the data they're providing you. Go a step further than that and actually find it on Street View, because they give you the address too. So, if you're a creative person, you could really do whatever you want with this kind of data. You know, the possibilities are endless, really. It's all up to your imagination, I guess. So given that, we're trying to figure out what the city needs to provide next. So if you take a look at the Open Data Portal, check out what's on there, see if anything you think should be there isn't, and you know, let me know. And that's pretty much that, you know. Okay. So we're looking for a lot of suggestions on what we can provide, or what the city can provide as far as data. And if you're interested in helping out in an event, if you're interested in helping out, we're going to have a open data hacking kind of category at the Baltimore Hackathon coming up. So if you get us suggestions earlier, we might even be able to get that data for the hackathon. That's all. Enjoy.
Awesome. Now, when Shay did a presentation also a while back on the traffic parking ticket app that he has, which is pretty cool. It tells you where in the city you're most likely to get a ticket using the Baltimore City parking data, which is a useful app. And he showed that last time. That's a really cool app. So I don't know if you can do one where it's like, yeah, I think, stay up? Yeah, maybe. Anybody have any questions about this or comments? Or yes.
The CCTV, do they let us view the cameras at all?
That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Do you think they can allow that? That would be
pretty scary.
No, I don't think that's probably going to happen. That sounds somewhat illegal. I don't know, Lillian, can you comment on that?
Oh,
yeah, I'm getting a head nod. That's a negatory.
No.
I think with the art database, we need to create basically a Google Map type app website where people can explore all the art around Baltimore.
Yeah, definitely.
Lots
of cities are doing that same thing.
Mike Brenner did something with the murals. Like there's a mural directory you can go and you can see all the street murals. But I think for the rest of that, I don't think that's there. Go ahead.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to actually get the data once you request it? On average?
There's a lot of factors that come into play there. So, you know, every bit of data needs to go through a lawyer before it can really be released. So it depends how much personal kind of information is there. I've been seeing like, I don't know, roughly a 3-month turnaround. Can you comment on that, Lillian? What's the average turnaround? 2-3 months? Okay, yeah. 2-3 months, roughly.
Is she with the city or is she with you guys?
She's with the city.
Oh,
yeah.
Lillian's with the city. I didn't even know you were with the city. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I'm sorry, now you made yourself known. You're going to have to...
If you do have suggestions, you can also talk to Lillian in the flower shirt there.
Yeah. Maybe you could talk a little bit about their data initiative at the city.
Sure. Open Baltimore is one of Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake's initiatives, and she has been an open data proponent. And Shay Frederick and Kate Bladow and Mark Head have been working with us to kind of help us with our open data initiatives. Just recently, we published about 5 to 6 new data sets, and we're currently working on more. We are looking for suggestions for more data sets, and if you think of anything that's really cool, because we just don't want to put data out there if you're not interested. We want to put things out that you can consume and make great things for the city and for yourselves. We have a lot of good examples. Shay has been at the forefront of creating great examples from Baltimore City data. So if you have any suggestions, you can talk to Shay or you can talk to me.
Yeah, I know that some of the data sets that were early on were like salary data of employees and also the contracts, right? All the contracts that the city signs. And I know that's a lot of interest to people who want the transparency in the government. I think it's pretty cool that Baltimore's doing that. So
Yeah, one of the other fun data sets that's been out for a while is city employee salaries. It's actually kind of neat to browse.
There you go.
You start to feel really bad for some of them.
Yeah, and there was like a vacant database.
Yeah, there's
right?
also all the vacant houses you see around the city. There's a database of those. Vacant lots as well. Lots of good information already up there, but we do need suggestions about what might be missing. Thanks.
Great, awesome job. Thank you, Lillian. All right, well, those are all the presentations. We can do a little last round of sharing. If anybody's got anything, you can queue yourself up at the mic there. Want to remind you all about where we're going to be next, and encourage some of you. We do have for our next June one, we're going to have a nice full track. So I'm looking at July for our next one. But go ahead, Sarge.
Great presentations today. The fundamental challenges are you building the right thing. So my name is Sarge, and I organize the Baltimore Lean Startup Meetup. So please find us on the Meetup website. Our first meeting is on June the 12th. It's free. And you can follow us on Twitter at BMoreLean, BMORELEAN.
Great, that's going to be at the Towson Global, right?
That's correct, June the 12th.
Awesome. Awesome, great.
Thank you.
Great, Kate.
Hi, I'm Kate Blado. I work with nonprofits around technology strategy, and if you're interested in supporting an organization that is helping youth learn how to use media to create campaigns and get their points across, I would encourage you to attend the Youth Media Festival next Wednesday, starting at 5 p.m. at Miller's Court in Remington. Tickets are $10, but the money goes back to the organization.
Great. Go ahead, Ed.
How you doing? I'm Ed Mullen, and Balto MSDN is tonight at 6:30. This is a users group for Microsoft developers and people that are interested in things like behavior-driven development and Team Foundation server. It's over at the Dark Horse Saloon in Canton. Starts at 6:30.
Yep, I was there. Last one I was at was pretty rocking. So, go ahead.
Morning, everyone. My name's Hill Andrews. I'm with Experis IT. We are the professional resourcing arm for Manpower Group for IT staffing and solutions. One of the largest here in Baltimore as well. We are growing, so if anyone's looking for a business development opportunity, please come see me. Thanks.
Awesome. Great.
Hi, I'm Bob Graham, CEO of Bigger Pie Strategies. I'm 6 feet 6 inches tall, by the way. I know that's all you really care about. We do marketing for you folks, helping you find the ideal clients, the people that actually want and need what you're creating. So if I can help you with that, let me know. Thank you.
Great. And Lucy?
Hi, I'm Lucy Clark with BB Communications, and I've been coming to these meetings for quite a while. It's wonderful to see so many new faces. I'm looking to team with graphic designers, marketing professionals, web and app developers, and in the fall, I'm branching into the Boulder and Denver market, and I'm going to have a team both there and here in Maryland, so between Colorado, and just helping businesses to promote, do branding, identities, marketing, and of course, web apps.
Awesome.
Thank you. Come see me.
Hi, I'm Christopher Westbrook, and I am the CEO of Visualcast Technologies. We are a big data firm, and I am basically looking for OpenStack engineers. Anyone know any OpenStack engineers? I would be most interested in seeing them. Thank you.
Ben?
All right, quiz time. How many people remember the 5 important points about a launch or relaunch that Brian Sierakowski talked about? Raise your hands, because you will be tested.
I got it.
One of those items, and I think the most important, just like Brian, is that you need a product manager on your team. Among other things, I am a product manager, and I happen to have a whole lot of time on my hands. So if anybody believes what Brian said and needs a product manager to drive your launch forward, feel free to contact me. The best way to do that is on Twitter, and my Twitter handle is @Cruzin, C-R-U-Z-I-N. Thanks.
Great.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kenan Fort from York, Pennsylvania. My marketing identity is the king of facilitating. One of my favorite questions to ask is, how can I or those in my network help you with your greatest problem or challenge you're facing today? So I have a lot of connections, a lot of contacts. I'm a connector, I'm a facilitator, I make things easier. Let's talk, find out, and I'll look in my resources to help you. Thank you.
Good job.
Hi, Mark Scrimshire, EatBmore on Twitter. I'm Chief Instigator at HealthCam Foundation, and if you fancy a trip down to DC this weekend and through next week, it's the Health Data and Innovation Week. And if you're interested in anything around healthcare, we're having Health Camp DC at Kaiser's Center for Total Health down in DC on Monday. Sign up for a ticket at healthca.mp/DC.
Awesome. Well, great. We'll give a round to everybody, all the speakers, all the microphone people. Do you want to point one thing out for the speaker? I keep forgetting to do this. All the speakers. Remember, the next one, the June one, is going to be at the Mount Washington facility, the DLA Piper space and the Mount Washington campus. We hope it's going to be even bigger. That space is can host 200, 250. It's going to be freaking amazing. It's glass and steel. If you've ever been to that building, it's amazing. So we hope to see you all there. So enjoy. Eat more bagels if they still exist. Caffeinate the heck out of yourself. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Ed.